It's been a unique build-up to this fight. Talks of twerking and teabagging and stuff like that. What have you made of it?
I didn't mind him, lad, before the fight got announced, know what I mean? But he's been talking all sorts of crazy shit, lad. And he's an absolute crab. Know what I mean? Can't throw a punch to save his life. And he's trying to talk shit, lad. It's mad. Can't believe he's talking about my opponents. That's Ray Ogden, lad. Me nan's dead and she'd finish him. Know what I mean?
Yeah, I have to say he was in here earlier and he wasn't being very complimentary of you.
That's what I mean. He's been talking proper shit, lad. He's an absolute idiot. The kid that we reversed triangled, a fat featherweight. His ground game's terrible. That he got twisted by Bryce Mitchell, says it all. Matt Wyman should be in an old age pensioner's home. Know what I mean? He was on the Ultimate Fighter season 5. I'd watched that when I was 15. Know what I mean? I'll beat Matt Wyman after I beat Jordan on Saturday night.
So where do you think what do you think he's coming from with this? Is he just trying to get in your head?
Yeah, he's just trying to get in my head, being a little weirdo like he is, but no one can out-weird me. I'm weirder than anyone.
Is there a chance you twerk over him if he gets...
I want to teabag him, lad. I want to teabag him like it's Modern Warfare 2.
For the uninitiated at home, what is teabagging?
I want to squat as close to his head as I possibly can without the ref shouting at me.
Okay.
Just squat up and down like I'm on Modern Warfare 2, lad.
Thank you for clarifying that. How do you see the fight itself actually going? He was trying to say it's going to be a bit of a grappler versus grappler. What do you see?
No, it's not. I'm going to come out and I'm going to take his head off. I'm not going to be shooting no takedowns. I'm coming to stand with him and to take his head off. I'm coming to take his chin on with me. Yeah. He can't throw a punch to save his life, lad. He really can't, lad. He comes to fights he doesn't come into fights to win. He comes into fights not to lose. You know what I mean? Try and take me down, sit on top of me and sniff me balls for 3 rounds, lad. It's not going to work.
I feel like he's been trying to get in your head, but what I'm getting from you is actually he's just kind of pissed you off.
Yeah, he has. He's pissed me off, lad. I didn't mind him when the fight got announced. I really didn't mind him, lad. Like, he had 12,000 followers. He's now got 30,000 just off the back of my name. For people who... What the fuck was that? For people who don't like me. You know what I mean? He's just got a load of followers. His followers is nearly tripled just because people don't like me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he can talk all this shite all he wants, lad. But he knows full well when that cage door gets shut, I'm going to come out and I'm going to take his head home with me.
He was kind of playing down how the crowd's going to be. He was like, 9 o'clock, they won't be that drunk by then.
Well, lad, it's funny because that got put in my group chat with my mates before. And my mate Jack, one of my closest mates, put, is he messing? I'll be in a mess by 9 o'clock. What's he on about? You know what I mean? So what's he on about, lad? All my mates will be in a mess by then, absolutely sloshed. 9 o'clock. That's what I mean. He's only ever fought in the Apex. He's never fought anywhere else. He's never fought with a crowd, lad. And now he's fighting with my crowd. Lad, his head's going to fall off. As I was saying before, lad, this might be the first ever time someone shits themselves in the octagon.
Actually,
you know what I mean?
I don't think that's the first time.
Oh, isn't it? Well, it might be the first time you have to mop a bit of shit up off the floor.
I'll let the referee know. Thanks, man.
Paddy, hi. A lot of people are looking at this as your toughest test on paper. Is it safe to say disagree?
No.
Yep.
Luigi Vendramini knocks him clean out. Clean out. And I think he's got better jiu-jitsu than him, to be honest. And Vargas would knock him out if he caught him on the feet. But he would out-grapple Vargas, give him his due. He can grapple, but he can't grapple like me. He thinks he's a good grappler. Like, he's training out of one of the biggest gyms in Vegas, Syndicate. And he got beat up by someone who's training in his back garden in Peru. You know what I mean? That Puella's another crab who had beaten around. So, like, that means nothing to me. Or he's chatting all this shite. And because of it, like, I always touch gloves, but I'm not touching gloves with this little mushroom. It's not happening. I'm coming out and I'm taking his head clean off.
You said you were pissed off. Is this the first time you come with this type of emotion in fight?
I've never really been pissed off leading up to a fight. You know what I mean? Vendramini and Vargas were pretty respectful, as I was to them. But he's a little maggot, and I'm going to proper batter him for it. I've never come into a fight wanting to hurt my opponent, and I'm going to hurt him. If I get the chance, I'm going to split him open with elbows so I rearrange his face.
I know you don't like to call guys out because you say you don't want to give them clout, but how do you see your UFC career panning out? Obviously, from outside the octagon, you're killing it. But in terms of your fighting career, do you ever think about rankings, where you want to go, or just take it fight by fight?
Taking it fight by fight. I'm not calling anyone out. I don't need to give anyone publicity. Everyone has my name in their mouth. It's as simple as that. I don't need to mention anyone. know what I mean? Logan Paul was talking about me the other week. Just shows, doesn't it? Even YouTubers are talking about me because they know who the boy is.
Thank you.
Paddy, you say that that Jordan Leavitt as an opponent isn't as good as some of the guys you've fought in the past. So
I fought better grapplers in Cage Warriors. Sorenbach's a better grappler. Nadarmani's a better grappler, even though he was juiced up. Know what I mean? But
so in terms of your career progression, other than the ability to pick up another win and entertain the fans in the UK, what is the big upside of fighting Jordan Leavitt on Saturday?
I'm going to put on a showcase with my hands and my feet. I'm going to put it on him on the feet. He's going to see a new side of me that you've never seen before. I wanted to do it in the last fight, but as I say, I was very disappointed in my last performance. Come out and threw 2 kicks, didn't even throw a punch, lad. I felt like a little bitch after it. Know what I mean? He hit me with a hook and I shot in for a panic shot. I did. Shot in for a panic shot, ended up on the bottom. My takedown accuracy in the UFC, 0%, lad. I feel like an absolute little pussy. Know what I mean? But I'm gonna make a statement on the weekend. Know what I mean? Watch. I can't wait to come out and absolutely flatline him. I'm gonna put him unconscious.
This change in energy is quite marked because obviously in the lead up to this fight, everything we've seen from you, great interview you did with Molly and Gary Neville. I'll ask you a question about that in a second. But everything about the lead up to this fight has been very relaxed, very open.
Oh, I'm very relaxed
chilled.
still. Don't worry, lad. I'm very relaxed. I am relaxed, but I just think, who's he talking about? He's a no one. He's a nobody. And he's talking about me like I've fought nobody and I'm a no one. Like, his head's going to fall off when he walks out. He's only ever fought in the Apex. He's only ever fought crabs. You know what I mean? There's a big difference between fighting me, fighting Matt Wyman, and fighting that fat featherweight, and then that Trey Ogden. You know what I mean? As I say, my nan's dead and she'd finish him.
Yeah, no, the only reason I was mentioning that is I wondered, given the change of energy and the fact that you're talking in this sort of way, is this something your team have said to you? Like, do you need to make sure you keep everything on the level?
No one needs to tell me anything, lad. No. I know I'm solely focused. I know what I'm doing, lad. As I say, it's just he's talking bits of shit, lad. What is half pissing me off? Know what I mean? Like, as I say, he's a no one. No one knew who he was before he fought me. I got an interview before and he got called Justin Leavitt by the interviewer. That's how much of a no one he is. His name's getting said wrong by a very big interviewer. It's embarrassing. He's a no one. He's the monkey crab, not the monkey king.
Let me change up the energy just a little bit and just mention that Gary Neville interview. Liverpool and Manchester coming together. That's not something we see very often on TV.
It's not. It's not.
Tell us about that, because first off, it was a great interview, a great piece of content, but how much fun was that to actually spend time with someone who you freely admit you hated a few years ago?
It is. It's mad. Know what I mean? I used to hate Gary Neville with a passion. He's kissed that United badge in Anfield and that, know what I mean? I used to hate it with a passion, and as you know, I told him that, but what a nice fella he is, know what I mean? What a sound fella he is, and all the overlap team, every one of them. Some of the research, what he done leading into that, and like Matt asked us questions, it was brilliant. It's such a professional team, and I think I'll probably end up being on the overlap again in a few years.
Brilliant, thanks a lot.
Paddy, just here at the back. Just here, mate.
Yes, lad, what's happening?
Yeah, good, mate, you?
Cushy.
Yeah, just in terms of that overlap interview, you said that you're going to be the biggest star in the UFC. How close do you think you are to being the biggest star?
I'm nearly there already, lad. Know what I mean? I've had 2 fights. I've had more media than anyone else this week. That's a fact. Know what I mean? I'm doing a sit-down face-off interview with the Mushroom tomorrow. When does that ever happen when it's not the main event or the title fight? It doesn't. And there's only one reason that's happening. Because of me. Because everyone knows I'm the boy. I'm the new kid on the block. And I'm the one that's getting the bums on seats. This will be my last fight in the UK for a good few years till we do Anfield. After this, lad, I'll be fighting on pay-per-views. UFC are losing too much money having me fighting on ESPN Plus in the States, lad.
What did you make of him saying that you put on an act?
Lad, everyone knows now I don't put on an act. My YouTube channel shows it for everyone. Know what I mean? My Paddy the Baddy YouTube channel shows that I am just me constantly. If anyone's putting on an act, lad, it's him. Know what I mean? What is he up to? He's the most little awkward crab you've ever met in your life.
Just in terms of, you mentioned Logan Paul there. What was that actually like having Logan Paul call you out, and what would you actually do to Logan Paul?
I just started giggling, lad. It made me night. Because a couple of months ago, he messaged me calling me a clout chaser. And who's the clout chaser now, son? Who's clout chasing who? Know what I mean? Everyone knows what I do to him. Like, he's wrestled in high school. I have a Division 1 wrestler come over from the US who's wrestled at 84 kilo and out of North Carolina, chasing. Know what I mean? I have him. He comes in and wrestles with me. I wrestle with better people. That's sort of like, he wouldn't be able to take me down. I'd put him on his back. That's what I mean. This monkey crab thinks that he's going to be able to take me down and hold me, or he's not even going to get me down, lad. I wrestle with a better southpaw wrestler every day. Like, I can't wait to elbow his face in.
And then just finally for me, you put on a serious note, you put a tweet out a few weeks ago about the cost of living in the UK and how your gas and electricity has gone up. Being from Liverpool, being a man of the people, how much does that concern you with the people of Liverpool?
It's absolutely disgusting, lad, how much that it has actually gone up. It's ridiculous. And then you've got this Sunak saying that he wants to sort the country out. Lad, you was the one that was in charge of all that, you little divvy. You was in charge of all the buds at being the Chancellor. So, nah, just do a general election and let's see them get voted out.
Does it worry you, though, with the people of Liverpool? I know you said the food banks have increased, but you want to set up a charity so no child has to eat from a food bank again. Does it worry you, the state of what...
Yeah, it does, because more and more people are eating out of food banks now. It really is heat or eat for some families. Put the eating on or eat. And it's absolutely despicable what that's happening. Especially someone, like I say, that Sunak, multi-millionaire, this Bird's a billionaire, and he's talking about sorting the economy out. Eat shit, lad.
Paddy, just down at the bottom right here. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, man, what's happening?
I think, like you said there, you know, the comparisons of you being like almost the biggest star in the UFC, and so many people have compared you to Conor McGregor, but, you know, you kind of seen the limelight that you went down. How do you avoid going down, you know, the same path of getting caught up in all the attention and just staying focused on the actual important part, which is fighting?
Because I've already had that. Not on as big a scale, but I've already had that when I was 21 and I won the Cage Warriors world title. I had all Klingons, people hanging off my coattails. I had all that, you know what I mean? I had hanging around with the wrong people, not being with my proper mates, even like split up with the missus for a bit. And you realise, lad, and I'm so happy now looking back in hindsight that happened to me. I had to hit rock bottom before I come back up, and I have hit rock bottom in the past, but now I'm here, and I'm here to stay.
Would you not say it's more difficult, though, when you have like the stuff that you've had and the trips to America and even getting noticed out there and, you know, the baseball stadiums? Would you say that it's even more difficult now?
Yeah, but I've always said that's going to happen. I've said for years I am going to be the biggest star in the world. When I was like 19, 20, fighting on Cage Warriors, I was saying I am going to be the biggest MMA star on the planet. And what's happening? I'm proving myself right like I always do. Proving haters wrong, and it makes my day. It gives me a warm, fuzzy feeling inside.
And something that got a big bit of attention in the first two fights was your pay. Your manager Graham Boylan has now said that that's changed. Obviously, not going into specifics, but how much better is it now going into your third fight?
Oh, it's good. it's good. Hey, don't use worry about that.
Mm-hmm. And finally, from me, a bit of sad news. Obviously, it's when we were talking in March, you were talking about how you wanted to bring baby Lee on stage, and sadly, obviously, he lost his fight last month. He played a big part in your previous fight camps, and I just wonder if you could reflect on how much, you know, he meant to you, and he still does mean to you, even though he's not sadly with us anymore. Yeah,
it's heartbreaking, to be honest, lad. It just kills you how a kid that age can go. Know what I mean? There's like 98-year-old people still alive, horrible nonsense, and then there's a 4-year-old kid dying like that. It's you know, if he was a billionaire's son, lad, probably would have been saved. But because he's just a kid from Liverpool, lad, no one's asked. But I know full well he's going to be in there with me on Saturday. I know for a fact he is. That's why I know Jordan Leavitt can't hurt me, lad. Jordan Leavitt's not going to get near me, lad. I'm going to get into a proper flow state in this fight, and I am going to proper hurt him, lad. For baby Lee. I know he's going to be in there with me, lad.
Thank you very much.
Paddy, right here. Paddy. I asked Molly this, and I want to ask you, the event in March obviously was just very well celebrated as one of the best events. And I want to ask, going into this one, you obviously can only focus on your own fight, but do you feel like a collective energy with the European fighters to have an encore performance?
Yeah, of course. And I know that we're all coming out to get wins. All the Europeans, we don't turn up to lose, lad. We turn up to put on a show in a big way. DC said to me yesterday, "Oh, you Europeans are so confident." I'm like, it's because we have full faith in our ability, lad. I think every European on the card's going to win. It's just the way I look at it. And I've been saying to people, lad, if you want a 30 bet, lad, get a triple on me, Molly and Tom, because that's coming in.
And then on a lighter note, some fighters do campaign for custom Venom shorts. You're known for having orange shorts prior to coming to the UFC. Have you sent a message to anyone about trying to get that color available?
No, I haven't, to be honest. I've mentioned it a few times, like, and a few people have mentioned it for me, but the red shorts are working a charm, aren't they, lad? I don't really need to go back to the orange one. The red shorts are working an absolute charm.
Thank you.
Paddy, just a quick one. Islam Makhachev and Charles Oliveira will be fighting for the title at UFC 280. Just wanted to get your opinion, you know, how you think that fight goes down.
I think Charles Oliveira wins. I think he gets a finish within 3. Simple. You know what I mean? They're both unbelievable fighters. Islam is quality, but he hasn't fought the caliber opponent what Charles has fought. And I think Charles gives him so many tests that he hasn't been tested like he will against Charles. You know what I mean? He hasn't fought no one in the top 10, Islam. And he's getting a title shot. Yeah, never. Just Danuka, who was on like 3 weeks' notice. Yeah, Charles Oliveira all day.
Thank you.
Sure. Paddy, Tim from Sports Kita here. I've always been curious about this question. You're training for a fight, you're doing tons of media. How do you maintain your energy to also argue with people on Twitter?
I love putting trolls in the faces, lad. I can't help it. It's just one of them things. I haven't been on it for a few hours today, but it's just mad, lad. It's crazy the amount of abuse I get on Twitter. You know, Instagram used to be bad, but I'll be honest, it's boiled down a bit now. Instagram's not bad at all, but I get abuse on Twitter, like. It does me head in, lad. But I call people out on it. Know what I mean? People say, "Oh, you shouldn't even give them your time, this and that." But you know, it's not like people think that. Like someone tweeted me, "Oh, you've got a fight to think about on Saturday." Like, what do you think? I just sit there in my room all day thinking, "Oh, Jordan Leavitt." I don't need to. I'm gonna punch his head in. Know what I mean? So I'll use Twitter to pass time. And there's one today, lad. Some horrible fella calling Scousers victims and. Never their fault. He knows what he's talking about. It's a Hillsborough job. So I said to him, he said, I'm always in Liverpool. So I was like, lad, go ahead. When are you next in Liverpool? Let me know. He said he's a Fulham fan. He said, I'll be in Liverpool for Everton and Liverpool away. I said, Sam, come down the gym. We'll put some gloves on and get on the cage. Oh, do you think it always gets sorted with violence? Absolutely curry chip bombed it in his undies. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to talk a big game on the internet, lad, like as Mike Tyson said, people think social media, lad, you don't get punched in the face no more. What you say on the internet, lad, you can get punched in the face. Simple as.
Quick one from me, Paddy. Who's going to score more? Owen Nunes or Erling Haaland?
I've already answered this, lad. Nunes is going to score more. Haaland's injury prone, lad. He's always injured. Nunes isn't. I've seen a belter stat before as well. Guess who Nunes has scored more goals than in the Champions League knockout stage?
Haaland.
Sergio Aguero. Mic drop.